Happy Republic Day to everyone who's watching on 26th Jan 2022. Welcome to the podcast, guys. And this time we have Harshil Karia sir. Harshil Karia sir is one of the best guys I ever met, and you cannot miss this podcast ever. You need to give your time, just pack your time and just listen to this podcast. This is one of the best podcasts even I heard. This is like my personal favorite podcast. You must hear it. He is the founder of schbang industry. And this podcast is divided into two parts. The second part will be coming after 10 days, but this part is for someone who is in their teenage, in their 20s, figuring out their life, who wants to know how did he build schbang. Before schbang, how did he figured out that he wants to build schbang and everything. Second part is all about entrepreneurship and his personal life. You must check this out episode. It's just of 25 to 30 minutes, but that will definitely change your life and will add value to your life. Make sure you watch it whole. Thank you. So hello guys, welcome to Thoughts of Gen Z, and here we're with another episode with one of my favorite guys, and this episode you should not miss out, okay? He's Harshil Karia sir. Thank you so much for coming. He's someone who has built 200 crore brand by single one. He has the pure entrepreneur with amazing ideologies and is a big fan, and you must listen to this podcast, guys. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks, Jamil. Thanks for having me. And thanks for coming to Bombay all the way to see me.
Oh man, it's pleasure to meet you himself.
Yeah.
So my first question to you is like, how did your journey begin? And I want to know since when you were 12, when you were 15, when you were 16, and when you were 18. Because that story of...
Yeah, so actually 12 is amazing. Good point that you raised at 12. You know, I know that you're a black belt karateka.
Yeah.
So at 12, I got my black belt. Okay, so like it's kind of like similar to how you're doing stuff. So when I got the black belt, I was like, damn, I can do some shit. Because till then I was like, you know, this weak guy, bullied a little bit, no stamina, not able to do my,
Even my story is the same. I was like weak guy, not bullied every time in school, so I started guy.
Yeah. And then like, then you kind of, you figure out that you have it in you. So you just do it. And, for the black belt, like my black belt exam, I needed to run, morning we started, you have to run 10 kilometers, then you do conditioning, then you do your kata, then you do your kumite, then you do your...
It takes minimum 7 hours a day.
Exactly. No, like the exam is an 8-hour exam, right?
Yeah.
So to ace the 8-hour exam, you need to do good preparation.
9 hours practice every goddamn day.
I didn't do every goddamn day. It was like weekends that I did it on, because otherwise you're in school, etc.
Yeah.
So maybe like Wednesday and Saturday, Sunday was my practice for karate. But like just getting that, it did something to me. Like it gave me the confidence and gave me the energy that there's stuff in you. That was important. So like that was a...
Just improves the self-morale inside. Like,
yeah.
You can do something in this world.
Yeah.
So what was the mindset when you were 16? Like this entrepreneurship was in your head when you were 16?
No, not really. I was in the first batch in this city, in Bombay city, of amazing school that Reliance had built called Dhirubhai Ambani School.
Yeah.
So I got into that school by, it was a large entrance exam. You know, I've seen many comments on Ranveer's podcast, where people have said, oh, ye log to yahan pe ye school mein gaye, this, that. We had a very competitive entrance exam. So the competitive entrance exam that we had, I think there were 5,000-6,000 people who had come to sit for the entrance exam. From that, few got selected. So it was a great feeling. And when I was 16, I remember what an amazing school. Actually, hats off. Reliance is one of the reasons they are such a large company today is because there is this amazing ability of Reliance to keep giving back. And in that sense, the school was an example of that. The ability to give. So they had brought a completely international staff. My economics teacher was from Ireland. My business management teacher was from UK, math teacher was from UK, my main tutor was from Sri Lanka, we had English teacher from Australia, we had a chemistry teacher from Australia, biology teacher from New Zealand.
That's amazing.
So like a crazy, and like it's like, then I studied in Bombay after 12th standard, but like that 2 years, 11, 12 gave me the feeling like I've gone to another country to study, and I'm getting so many different global perspectives. And I'm also still sitting in my home, still staying with, in my home city. So I learned so much about fundamentals, in business management. I understood about how P&L works. I understood, okay, what's the balance sheet. I understood that in pricing, you can do cost plus pricing, or you can do margin-based pricing, or you can do revenue, you can do backward.
In a practical way or only a theoretical way?
So the professor was so good that it was theoretical, but he was explaining all the concepts practically. And then economics, you're learning demand supply in a very practical way. You're learning externalities in a very practical way. You're learning, a little bit basics of econometrics in a very practical way. So you're actually utilizing some of these theoretical concepts in the way you can apply it into your life. So that's when, I think that's the theme in stories, and that's why I think this digital medium also works for people like us, because when you talk, the story forms in your head.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of the thinking is. So So it was like that. I was learning and I was forming stories in my head. And I was being exposed to literature which I had not been exposed to, Russian literature, like Alexander Pushkin. And
I have actually heard somewhere like in the OM Money School you need to read few amount of books in a year or else you won't be allowed.
Yeah. We were given a whole reading list to read before you came. So amazing book like Brave New World. Huxley's no, the Brave New World is written in the 30s, talking about the future. So that was the author was Huxley, and then there was Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, another amazing book about philosophy on life.
So how many books you were supposed to read in a year?
About I think about 25, give or take.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Along with studies, so like what an amount of knowledge you were adding as an
I mean, more than knowledge being added, it's just teaching you to learn.
Yeah.
So I think
forever a student.
Yeah, that's the best skill that you can have, which is the ability to learn. Is the best skill that you can have. And my most prized possession is also I got in the school at the end of the 12th standard. I got a small award. It was called the Lifetime Learner Award. So it's still my most prized possession because it's an indication that you have the ability to constantly keep learning, and that's how you can grow in life by just keeping on learning. So that's what excites me about coming to work also every day.
Yeah. So at what age did you figure out that entrepreneurship is something meant for you?
After I was, I think it has to have been in my first year of junior college. First year of degree college.
Alright.
So
when
you are 11th
probably,
standard right now.
Yeah.
So 2 years after this.
Probably 18, 19 years old.
Around that time, because I was doing this internship in a company called Dentsu. I was sitting in that. I was doing my internship. I got an email from my dad.
What was that? What was your job in that?
It was an advertising agency. I was an intern copywriter. So I had to pick up some of these nice kind of copywriting books and read ads and come up with ad concepts for brands like Suzlon, Adidas. Those kind of companies. I had some great mentors. There's an amazing copywriter from Manipur, Johnson, RK. There's another copywriter who's a creative director now at, I think Reader Fusion. He's a creative director at Pramod Sharma. So some amazing people that I got to kind of learn under. But I was seeing that I was seeing the way the place was being run. Yeah. And my interest was not so much in the copywriting alone. I had an interest for it. I had a genuine respect for it, but my interest was in how the place was being run.
How the place was being run, organized.
Yeah, how it was being organized, and that's when I felt like hey, I think I can do this.
Part also, it's my passion, not my thing.
Maybe it was a bit like cocky, but I was like at that time I was like maybe I can do this a little better than these guys.
Yeah.
The way they're running, because it's like basic things which I wasn't very happy with seeing, just listening, and I was like this doesn't seem right. So then I was like, cool, let's try this out.
So what was your first startup? At what age?
My first startup was right out of college. I finished my degree college. I had done 3 years of internships back to back.
At 3 different places?
At 3 different places. So 3 varied experiences. I've spoken a little bit about it on Ranveer's show.
Yeah.
I think that's there. And those 3 different internship experiences just helped me go deep as well as explore wide. One thing I always did in college was that I was always part of the college festivals for performing arts or for liberal arts. Things like that, which help you meet people. Some of my closest friends, day before, I was performing at the launch of Humans of Bombay, and we have the song coming out, I think, tomorrow.
Guys is saying so well, okay, you'll be a fan of him. So, I heard him.
Yeah, I would love for you to, if you're listening to this, then please listen to my singing. I do my business, but I'm a very, a hardcore aspiring singer, so if you can listen to that.
I'll drop the link in the description, you guys must check.
So one of some of the best friends you make in college are on that. Yesterday, day before when I was performing on stage, I needed one guy to help, and there was Holmaz, my friend from college, who was my bandmate, who came up and he did such an amazing job. So we cleaned it. So anyway, long story short, then the college got over, and I was like, I want to do something.
Yeah.
I just got drawn to this idea of building a services company in the social media space, and that's where I kickstarted. My first company was called Foxymoron, and I ran that for about 6.5 years and left the company to set up Schbang, which is where we're sitting today.
What was your job at Foxymoron?
I would say my job was to set the vision. My job was to steer the company towards the digital age. What they were doing before, they had these varied ideas of printing t-shirts and making brochures and everything, and I was like, that's not the future. Future is digital. That was my pitch. I steered the company towards a service which was heavily focused on digital and social. And we built the first, one of the hottest brands in social media marketing in India. We scaled it up to about a team of 250 before I left.
At that time? Which year was that?
This was about 2014.
Alright.
Yeah, so I left in 2014, and it's been since then that I've been running Schbang. So Schbang, we have a team of about, give or take, about 700 750 odd people across 3 cities. We go international next year. We open our offices in London next year. And yeah, there's like lots of growth happening, fun stuff happening. So very excited.
I genuinely wanted to ask this question since the day I heard your podcast with Ranveer. In 2014, how did you figure out that social media is the future? Like, how did no one at the
actually it wasn't social? It wasn't in 2014. Social media was already there. It was already ruling the roost. So in 2014, what I said is that's why we call ourselves shebang, because we bring together the whole shebang. Which is,
what does it mean?
Shebang means completeness, wholeness. The whole shebang, you know, that's how you say it. So shebang means wholeness. So we try to bring in, I mean, not we try to, we're doing it now very well, I think, in a lot of places. We're bringing in integration, completeness into the work that we do for clients' businesses. We are a services company in the doing creative technology work. So we do creative technology services, and we do the whole spectrum, whether it's branding, whether it's social, whether it's film production, whether it's research, whether it's IT, whether it's data analytics, cyber. So we do a lot of everything on the whole shebang. We bring that to companies.
Every goddamn thing is done here.
Yeah, everything. I mean, and growing. So that's, I mean, our vision is to be, we've got the Infosys and the TCSs of the world, which are in the IT space. We don't have a creative technology company, which is an India to the world technology company all over the world, which is a powerful Indian brand. And that's what we are building right now.
One thing that just kicked me out about you is like, every goddamn person like will be bringing foreign brands to India, but you have always from the very first day you are like, we'll be sending this brand to the world.
Yeah, but we'll also bring foreign talent. I mean, we will also bring foreign talent to India, because what I always say is India to the world and the best of the world back to India.
Yeah. So where did you get this vision of India to the world?
I think it just, we were doing a workshop with the team one day, and I had to put together saying that, okay, this is now where do we steer this company? And always, the thing about a vision is that it has to be bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
So, because it is the thing you go back to when you have like a difficult day, it is the thing you go back to when something goes off. So it has to be way bigger than you, and it has to be way something that you, but you have to be able to connect to it. Yeah. So I just instantly connected to it, and there was this workshop the next morning. I had to give a presentation to the team. So it was a 2-day workshop. One day I did some introspection work, and the next morning I had to give a presentation to the team. And I was so inspired that night with the work that we did, because I was in the midst of the energy of the team, and we were talking about where we were going to take this company, and I was so inspired by that. And my coach, who they call in your life, if you're lucky, you have some gurus around you.
Yeah.
Right. So this coach was what they call your Pad Pradarshan Guru.
Yeah.
Somebody who drives you on the path. So
that correct path and guides you first.
Yeah.
Someone like Chanakya to Chandragupta.
Something like that. Yeah. So that was my coach, Saloni Suri. She was the one who in that workshop I got inspired after the end of the first day, and I put that down on those slides, and it stuck with me since then. It was about 4 years back. 3 years into running the business. So it wasn't there from day one. So I think sometimes you just got to survive the business, do it, and then your vision kind of builds itself up.
When you left Proximoron and when you Foxymoron, sorry. So and started schbang. So what was that mindset? Because starting everything alone from
so we took a big loan and we started the business. I was already very successful in the business. I was confident of my skills and ability. So when I started Foxymoron, it was 4 of us starting from a small room. I was building the digital services, pitching to clients, doing the operations, building the team. We had a room, about a 200 square foot room that we were building in, which had no windows, no toilet, but we had built out that room so beautifully with paintings, and we had self-painted it ourselves. Yeah, it was one of the most beautiful offices. Till today, I would say it was my most beautiful office. Just how amazingly creative it was, and sharp it was. So, that was starting with 16,000 bucks in your pocket and scaling up a company. And I was like, I don't want to do that again. So I took out a loan, put it into this company. This office which you're sitting in right now, we occupy now about some 20,000 square feet. But we came in day one about 8,000 square feet without a single customer. 40 people hired on day one. Because I was telling the market that I'm here, come.
Without a single customer.
Yeah, because I'm confident of what I'm doing. Yeah. So come. My shop is open, come. And I've got the best for you. So I will cater the best to you, come.
And just to tell you guys that currently almost every goddamn brand is working with schbang, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say every brand. We have lots of brands. We are very fortunate that we have
more
lots of
than around 150 brands.
You could say that, yeah. We are very fortunate that some of the largest companies, they trust us with their work. Yeah. And the trust is something that we have, we take very seriously. So, whatever time we are taking out now, next it goes back into just ensuring that all the work is delivered right.
So, what is digital marketing? Please explain it in a very layman language. Because every goddamn person is just doing this currently after COVID period. So, what is digital marketing and how did you run it?
Yeah, so I think there are 2 parts to marketing per se. One is marketing to build intrinsic value, and second is marketing to drive sales.
What is intrinsic value?
Okay, so like you choose to buy a Nike shoe because there is the design part of it, but there's also the feeling of you buying into a Nike.
Yeah.
So the brand value, the intrinsic value of what the Nike shoe is, the heightened brand value of that is what marketing cumulatively does. So it has the effect of delivering you a higher price to the customer because the customer has a higher perceived payoff. मतलब customer को लगेगा कि मैंने Nike shoe खरीदा ना तो it's better. Action shoe may be as good quality as a Nike shoe, which I doubt it is, but over time because you have higher margins, you can invest in better product, you can invest in better experience.
Quality.
Yeah,
so it's just big name.
Yeah. So that's a bit about So one is to build intrinsic value, and second is to drive sales and distribution. Is what you do with marketing. So marketing can be tactical, can be seasonal. So you have winter coming, cold cream will suddenly push a lot of ads on TV.
Yeah.
You have a need because your skin starts getting dry, so you start purchasing it. So it's about right message to right consumer at the right time.
Yeah.
And digital marketing is just an extension of that. Digital marketing is allowing you to do more of right consumer at right time.
And
for the
because the SS is in our hand.
Yeah, because you have on your phone, you have geolocation, you have the ability to understand what the consumer is searching for. You have the ability to understand that am I looking at entertainment content or sports content. So on a sports content I may see a Pond's Men versus on an entertainment content I may see Anushka Sharma with Nivea, for example.
Yeah. So currently people are saying like digital marketing will replace the traditional way of marketing. Is it true in a decade?
I mean, see, they've been saying that for a long time. I think billboards will still exist. I think television today is still the largest
community.
At this point in time, television is the largest media channel for brands.
Yeah.
So most brands put money on television. Also, the reality is that on television, historically, brands have put money on television, they have grown.
Yeah.
So it has the tried and tested method. So
results have been given consistently.
Results have been being given consistently. Digital still performing and proving itself. So I think digital is definitely here to stay. I think traditional is also here to stay. There will be a coexistence. Ultimately, the money moves where the consumer moves. So if the consumer moves into metaverse, money will move into metaverse. If the consumer moves into phone, money moves into phone. Consumer moves into laptop. Now I'm not here to say where the money will move because that's not my business. My business is to ensure I know where the consumers are going, and that's where I move my clients' money to give them the best result for the right message at the right place at the right time. That's my job. I don't care if one goes big or one goes small. I'm here to define right message, right place, right time, and I will focus on that.
So your every goddamn work is with data, I think so. Okay. So could you please elaborate the phrase data?
Why you say every goddamn all the time?
Just to specify it or
give it more hype.
Yeah.
Give it more weight.
Yeah.
You can switch it around a few. Instead of every goddamn, you could do a few other phrases also.
I'll try. Okay.
So data is like a lot of work is with data. A lot of work is with drawing inferences using data.
So like how they collect our data? Are these things interconnected on whatever we are using and helping you guys in digital marketing?
Yeah, I mean to a large extent, right? Like because, for example, I could layer a first-party data of users who use the Nika app.
Yeah.
So I'll run my ads to a cohort of users who have installed the Nika app. If I'm marketing a beauty product, so I am able to buy this third-party. I mean, I'm able to buy this not the first-party, but the third-party data. I'm able to buy third-party data from exchanges. I'm able to understand that okay, when I have a first-party data also, when I come onto your website, how many minutes I'm spending. Which section I went on, which section I spend more time on, which section I spend less time on. Basis that I could trigger a marketing automation. That if I spend more time on, for example, let's talk about a category like chocolates. And if I spend more time on the healthy chocolate section, then
tomorrow you'll be showing me that thing again.
Yeah, more of that will be remarketed to you. My emailers could, kind of be programmed to deliver that flow. Yeah. Like all healthy chocolate or healthy chocolate based recipes. So it's like playing to my interest.
Alright. So you were just started this schbang with 0 customers and currently it has net worth of 200 crores. So what are
net worth could be, I mean it's this thing, net worth could be way more, but we just focus on revenue, we focus on the number of people we hire, we are focused on the vision. Right now we are not in any space to sell our company, so net worth doesn't matter to us.
So what are your future visions with schbang?
So like I said, we are opening, we are expanding our business portfolio. So we have a just open research business. We're taking on a lot of the established research players with the research business. We have a business going on in data analytics. So for the banking and financial sector, for credit risk detection, fraud detection, we have a joint venture there with a Swedish consulting company called Q Group. So we call that schbang Q. That's the second kind of wing that we opened up. We have a very successful production business. We make ad films. If you just recently see a new Castrol ad with Tiger Shroff, him doing flips and turns. So that television level quality work we're doing. We just finished shooting a short film which is won at the Prague Film Festival and at Moscow Film Festival. So that's a lovely short film that we have put out. We are in, we've done some amazing work with Ritesh and Janita Deshmukh for launch of the Imagine Meats product, plant-based meat product. All the packaging logo is done by us, the brand identity is done by us. Now we're making some ad films for them. We're also helping them with sales and distribution increase, on-ground sales distribution increase. So we're working with them on that capacity. We opened Delhi this year. We're already a team of about 100 people there. We're opening in London 2022. After London, we go to Amsterdam. Then we have our expansion plan kind of sorted out. We're just in the midst of a lot, man. There's a product in the works which we're building inside of Shbang. So there's the Shbang Academy which has kicked off really well on our training programs. Clocking good revenues there, teaching people good stuff. So it's an exciting time in Shbang.
So I personally am very excited to ask the question. What is Level.in?
So Level is an amazing, I'm so excited for you that you asked this question. It's an amazing product that we are building. It's a real life first person game, which is gamifying it's turning the entire process of personal growth and personal development into a game. So it's a first person game which you can play every day, all the time, and it's turning the principles of addiction inwards for growth. So everybody is like, Instagram is making you just like addicted to your phone. But what we are doing is we're actually like, it's a mixed reality between the world that we live in
and growth
and your phone and the world that we live in, and marrying that to deliver growth. So some of the stuff that we've got about 200 workouts that we've already shot. There's about 100 odd meditations that are on the app from different coaches all over the world. There are different game modes. So you could be a yogi game mode. You could be so there's a yogi game mode, there's a mindful monk game mode, and depending on your game mode that you're playing in, the XP that you get on the game changes. Basically build out a lot of mini games and challenges to help you enjoy the world better. Like for example, Dr. Huberman says on his podcast that one of the first things you need to get up as you do is you get up and look at the natural sunlight. Now, how do I without a glass? How do I gamify that? How do I ensure that I know that the user is looking at sunlight? So that's some of the cool stuff that we're doing. We're doing stuff where you have challenges with a mixture of augmented reality and kind of like the real world. So think of you being Sonic collecting coins as you go around, as you walk more, and think about you. You making people smile. So can I reward you for making? Basically, we're creating better human beings.
Better human beings with some value-added skills.
Through a game.
So, have you been using artificial intelligence in this?
Well, the thing with AI is that for AI to first build in a strong way, you need a very good instructional data set. So we're kind of like building an instructional data set. We get our first person, our first set of users, then the AI will kick in. So we build the principles of AI, but it's not a full AI yet.
Alright. So, according to you, do you think that AI will replace humans in near future?
I think I'm on the side of AI augments humans, not replaces humans. So you are a scholar of Gita. Right, so in chapter 2 they are talking about this idea of the Swadharma. Right, so if you're talking about Swadharma, now Swadharma is all your different dharmas that are there, but it's superseding on that, right? So this is a superset and it kind of draws from that. So that idea of being more complete as a human being and being able to absorb to the best of your, you understand your Atmagyan and then therefore are able to, translate it into your Swadharma and therefore
and after that you could reach Paramatma.
So I don't know if a machine has that ability. So I think human beings will elevate themselves higher through this AI. And that is where I think product like Level also is sitting in, because we are basically wanting to raise the level of humanity.
So this was all the startup question, but now. Hello guys, so as you have heard the first part of the podcast, and I know it's damn amazing and it must have added value to your life. So stay tuned for the second episode of this podcast. It will be released after 10 days, so save your date to your calendar. Tab tak, take care.